Were you aware that the average cruise passenger gets hit with over $800 in charges above their cruise fare? Yes, I'm talking about the sneaky things cruise lines do to drain your wallet. 7 ripoffs are happening right now aboard cruise ships, and if you don't know these tricks, you're gonna lose money. I'm Gary with Optimal Cruising, and here's what they don't want you to know. Some people spend up to $300 or more on cruise ship photos and end up disappointed. Our friends did exactly that on their very first cruise, but here's how you can get the same shots for free. So our friends wanted to bring back the memories from their very first cruise, so they bought the ship's photo package. 10 to 12 prints with a digital file of every photo taken. Sounds perfect. The problem is that while some of the prints came off well, many of the photos taken during their trip were fuzzy, off-centered, and not exactly what you would expect from a professional. And they couldn't even preview these pictures before paying for the package. If our friends had only done one simple thing, they could have had all the high-quality photos they wanted from their trip and kept $300 in their pocket. All you have to do to get all the high quality photos you want on your cruise back home with you for free is use that camera we all carry around in our pockets. Our cell phone. It's really simple. You can take a selfie anywhere, any place you want to take a picture with whatever background. There'll be somebody you can ask, and they're on vacation. They'll be happy to take your photo for you. So you can get whole family pictures, couple pictures, doesn't matter. It's easy to get. People ask me all the time to take their picture when I'm on a cruise, and I'm happy to do it. It's a way to take your memories home for free. And if you like those backgrounds that they set up for the ship photographers to take photos, they set those up well before the photographers go out there to do that. And all you have to do is head there early, get your photos in with the background, and you'll have the same exact pictures the photographers on the ship are taking. This solution gives you a lot more control. You'll probably end up with much higher quality prints and have some extra money in your pocket to use for excursions or whatever else you want to do on your cruise. Now, if you think that's a ripoff, it's nothing compared to the Shore Excursion Desk. Many cruisers pay between 25% and 50% more for their shore excursions because they book them directly with the cruise line. This is one of the biggest ripoffs and a huge profit center for the cruising industry. Now, the cruise lines use a very powerful tactic to convince you to book your shore excursions directly through them. They play on your fear, and they do it well. Your fear of missing the cruise ship. But the truth is that most excursions that you will book on your own, either online or directly at the port of call when you get there, are scheduled to bring you back to that port 2 or 3 hours before the ship has to leave. Last year we were on a cruise that stopped in Cozumel, Mexico, and we wanted to do a snorkeling excursion. And I found one on Viator, which is one of those online shore excursion websites, for $45 a person for the exact same snorkeling excursion that the cruise line was trying to sell us for $90 a person. That is a 50% savings. Don't throw your money away. Look around, do a little research, and you can save a huge amount of cash on your shore excursions. In fact, another cruiser recently brought to our attention that there's a company called Shore Excursions Group that does shore excursions at most ports of call. You can book them all online well in advance so you have all your plans set, and they guarantee to get you back to the ship in time, so you don't even have to worry about that. And don't forget, you can always do a shore excursion on your own. Whether you get a taxi or a rental car, it'll end up being a lot cheaper than booking a full excursion through the cruise ship, and you can kind of plan the day the way you want it. One of the biggest ripoffs I've seen for shore excursions happens if you're touring in a city like Europe, where you're going to do a city tour and they're going to take you around for the excursion. and they're going to show you the same sites that you could do absolutely for free if you use an app on your phone and just walk it by yourself. But if you think the Shore Excursion desk is a huge ripoff, wait till you see what the cruise lines do in the casinos. So your cruise is ready to leave and you're all excited because you know as soon as that ship hits international waters, the casino's gonna open and you can try and win back some of that money you spent on your cruise. But what if not all the games in a cruise ship casino play fair? Would you be willing to bet money and gamble on a game where you have no idea what the odds are? Let's take a look at how you cannot get scammed in a cruise ship casino. Now, the odds in all casinos always favor the house, but on cruise ship casinos, they can actually manipulate and change the odds while you're playing. And this is true for all of the electronic games in a cruise ship casino. You can be in the middle of playing a slot machine, and they can tighten the odds if they want them to start paying out less. Land-based casinos like those in Las Vegas and other areas of the United States are under heavy government scrutiny and must follow a ton of government regulations designed to keep the customer from being taken advantage of. However, cruise ship casinos in international waters have absolutely no government overseeing their activity and no governing body controlling how they operate. This puts you at risk. To me, it feels like a bait and switch because cruise ship casinos can loosen the odds to make the machines pay out a bit to get people excited and playing more, and then as they get crowded and more people playing the machines, they can tighten the odds so that they make more money. Now, there are some games in a cruise ship casino where the odds are straightforward and fixed, but if you're going to play at all in the cruise ship casino, make sure you take advantage of the perks that they're offering. Always use your ship card at any machine or game that you play because you'll rack up points that you can use for future cruises. People even earn free cruises if they play enough. In addition, casinos often offer free drinks for people who are just in the casino, even if you're not playing a game. So there's a perk you can kind of take advantage of and skip out on the scam behind the machines. If you want to gamble in the cruise ship casino on games with straightforward odds that don't change, stick to the table games like your blackjack, your craps, your roulette. These odds will be posted so you know what you're getting into and you won't get scammed by behind the scenes odds manipulation. Now, if you think what they do in the casinos is bad, wait until you hear the tactics they pull at their art auctions. Did you know that art auctions are not actually run by the cruise line? In fact, they are run by a third-party organization that will use all kinds of tricks and tactics to get you interested in their art auction, and everything is not always what it seems. So I was on a cruise about a year ago where I went to one of these art auctions to see what goes on there, and they did a raffle to get people in, and a passenger won a piece of art that they said was worth $1,200. But the problem is, the day after, they called this passenger back and told him there had been a mistake. The piece of art he actually won was worth over $3,500. And if he wanted to keep the piece of art, he had to pay the difference between the $1,200 and the $3,500 that it's actually worth. Sounds like a scam to me. Not to mention that most of the pieces of art, especially the paintings, are actually just prints or reprints of other paintings with a few brush strokes added to make it look authentic and give it kind of a 3D feel. And art experts say that these paintings are overpriced by 300 to 500% over what you could find at a land-based art gallery. So why purchase art on board a ship? It's really not worth it. Now, while most experts agree that the art sold on board cruise ships is highly overpriced, wait till you hear what the cruise lines try to upsell you on embarkation day. So picture this, it's embarkation day, the first day of your cruise, and you just got on the ship. And bam, you're hit with all these staff members trying to upsell you on packages. I personally have seen plenty of passengers put down over $1,200 for something that should have only cost them $800, and here's why. You're in vacation mode, you can almost taste that first cocktail poolside, and the staff are telling you, for under $100 a day, you can have unlimited drinks anytime, anywhere you want it for your entire cruise. It sounds enticing, but they're counting on you making that impulse buy. I've seen so many cruisers do it, but now you don't have to. When they are trying to upsell you packages on embarkation day, they are counting on you not doing the math and figuring out if it's really worth it for you. If you're really going to consume enough of what they're selling you to make it worth paying the excessive price of a package. And to top it off, if you buy it on embarkation day, you are getting ripped off. Because if you would have bought that same package a week or two before your cruise, you would have had discounts between 20, 40, I've even seen as much as 50% off of some of these packages because the cruise lines are desperate to sell them. There's three main types of packages they're going to try and upsell you on embarkation day. One is the drink package, they're going to try and upsell you a specialty dining package, and then a spa and fitness package. Let's look at each one real quickly so you get an idea of why these are big ripoffs. Now, to figure out if the drink package is worth it for you, you really have to take out a calculator and do some math. Now, we talk about how to do this in some of our other videos, but as a rough rule of thumb, you really need to consume about 8 alcoholic drinks per day to make that drink package worth it. And if you're traveling with a spouse or partner who is an adult staying in your cabin, they will have to purchase that drink package too, which means both of you have to consume that amount of alcohol to make it financially worth it. The same thing applies to specialty dining packages because you can purchase those ahead of time prior to embarkation day for between 20 and 40% less than what they're charging you on embarkation day. And you really need to look at what they're offering and see if it's really worth it for you. If only one person in your party really wants that steakhouse, is it worth paying for everybody to get that package and go there? Especially when, in a lot of cases, the main dining room offers the same type of steaks for an upcharge, which you only have to pay once for that piece of meat that you're ordering and not for everybody who might not want to eat there. And then there are some specialty restaurants that have an a la carte menu, so you don't have to pay the full cover charge to go there and have the full dining experience. If you just want to have a little sushi, you can go in and pay for what you want a la carte, and then the package is definitely not worth it. And the spa and fitness packages, they also tend to be a big rip-off on embarkation day, because if you really want something done in the spa and you book it on a port day, you're going to save a huge amount of money, and you can do that on the spot on a port day. And these services are also offered prior to embarkation day, so the weeks leading up to your cruise, go and look for a discount. You'll find similar 20 to 40% off of these spa treatments and packages. So if I've already saved you some money on your next cruise, make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel so you get all of our updates. And don't fall for this next ripoff. Every time I go on a cruise, I bring with me one of these tumblers to fill it up all day long with whatever I want and stay hydrated. I can put ice in there, I keep my drinks cold, I can fill it up with water at many stations throughout the ship. I can even hand it to a bartender and they'll put water in it for me. But it's not only water, I can use it for lemonade, iced tea, juices, any of the drinks that are included in your base fare that you get for free. So don't fall for the cruise ripoff of buying bottled water on board. Unless you have a drink package that includes that, and many of them do, don't pay extra for it because you're not getting anything better. Cruise ships have world-class water filtration systems. You cannot get more purified water. If you buy purified water in a plastic bottle, it's not going to be any better than what you get through the tap on the cruise ship. So instead of spending $3 or $4 every time somebody in your party needs a bottle of water, Everybody should bring along a little tumbler or bottle of some sort that they can refill all day long with whatever you want to drink. And don't miss the biggest ripoff of all, the one the cruise lines have absolutely nothing to do with. We love to find a great deal on a cruise, and almost everybody would like to save a little money on their next cruise. But there are these social media and pre-cruise scams out there that could cost you over $2,300. A couple recently reported that about a month before their cruise, they received a phone call that the price of their cruise had dropped, and they were offering them to be rebooked at the lower price and save about $700. So of course, the couple was like, yeah, I'll do that. So they got out their credit card, gave over the number, and the caller told them they were going to be charged $2,300. That was the new price, and that they would be refunded the original price of $3,000. That's how it was going to work. The only problem was, this wasn't the cruise company calling. In fact, cruise companies will never call you about any changes to your itinerary or your reservation. If there's any change to be made, they will put it in writing, usually by email. So this couple ended up getting charged an additional $2,300, but they never got the refund because it wasn't their cruise line that was making them this offer. It was a scammer. If you ever receive a call about your cruise reservation, there's two important things to do. One is hang up or tell them I'll call you back and hang up. Go to your reservation, get the phone number directly from it for the cruise line or your travel agent, depending on where you booked, and call that number and ask them if there really is something legitimate that you need to do regarding your reservation. And these scams aren't limited to phone calls. They're on social media too. So a lot of cruise passengers these days will create a Facebook group or other social media group surrounding their cruise sailing date so that all the passengers can kind of get to know each other and talk about what they're doing on this cruise. But the problem is that scammers are all over social media, and they join these groups as well. And they'll send out messages, even direct messages or public posts, stating that they have special offers for this or that during that cruise itinerary. Be very wary of those. I wouldn't click on any links, and I definitely would not give anybody your credit card who approached you over social media. If you have witnessed or experienced any of these ripoffs, make sure you drop it in the comments below. We want to hear about it. And if you have heard or seen any ripoffs I didn't mention here, we want to hear about that too, so I can put it in a future video. And now that you know the 7 biggest ripoffs cruise lines don't tell you, make sure you watch this next video of the 5 money hacks that could save you thousands.